If we go a little bit lower, we're right at this trend line, including the shadow right here in the weekly time frame. Again, can we bounce here? Right now, we're down over 10% for the week. We're below the 50 week. Remember, I told you we're to expect a bounce around the 50 week. We got that last week, but just a counter trend, the selling resumed. So again, do we get another bounce around this 50 week? If we close here below the 50 week today, then a 50-50 sell signal, you've got possibly confirmation coming of a bear market if you can get next week an open and a close below it. Back over here, here we bounced off of it and then we closed below it, but it didn't play out. We got back above it. The 50 weeks, a green line there. Then finally, 5 weeks later, you did close below it and you got an open and close below it, confirming the bear market. You already had a 50-50 sell signal before that, and the RSI had dropped below 50 as we've done right now for the 50-50 sell signal, being below 50 on the RSI, being below the 50-week moving average. So again, do we attempt another bounce here, or do we confirm a bear market immediately, that Wyckoff distribution model play out, wave 3? I still think it's possible we bounce surrounding the trend line and the 50, but again, listen to what I'm saying. My signals remain bearish. Any bounce is an opportunity, bonds to close their short positions, and a gift to the bears getting another shorting opportunity. We have in the weekly time frame a lower high and a lower low. We've lost this 108,000 area. And again, the weekly and monthly charts are all validating this. People still believing Bitcoin's going to 200,000 by December. Here in the next 6 weeks, by the end of 2025. I mean, these people are drinking the Kool-Aid. They're delusional. And I called a top off of this trend line right here from the 2021 highs. I warned you of the signals, and I warned you for Bitcoin to go higher. Fibonacci extensions levels to 150,000, 175,000. We have to clear this level, and we couldn't do it. I warned you the 4-year cycle could be coming to a conclusion. When I saw evidence, we stalled there. I told you I thought we topped. That was later validated, reversal anyways, validated in the weekly and the monthly time frame. And again, I'll be watching, can we confirm a bear market here immediately, or do we bounce first? Stochastic in the daily time frame is becoming very, very oversold down here. And again, the RSI, we do have the diversions trying to form on the 4-hour chart. Now here I've marked the count that we have the wave 1, the wave 2 done. We've got 1 and 2 done here. Now in the crash, intermediate crash wave 3, maybe we get a 1 here and a 2, and then it just becomes an extended wave. These smaller waves in the larger primary wave 3. A couple of different ways to count it. Again, late wave speculation, but you can see a potential diversions here. Again, divergences have been calling turning points, all of them except this one. So we'll see what becomes of this one right here. So do we get a bigger rally, and this is the first leg down, and we get a wave 2, or is this just one of the sub waves in the crash wave 3? So again, see how it plays out. But if you have unrealistic expectations, my signals are bearish, probably going to see some type of bounce. Can't tell you if it's going to be a bigger bounce or these sub waves in the crash wave 3. It is the process of elimination. You're watching. I'll do another video on Monday. Check back for that. I just wanted to update you, and we'll be watching to see, do we close below that 50-week moving average? Does this divergence eventually play out? Just back above it? Confirm a bear market by next week. We'll be watching. I remain bearish. I remain short. Any rally back up is an opportunity and a gift. We get a bigger rally back up, likely see the institutions sell into it, and the herd, I doubt that they sell into it. I think they'll ride the Bitcoin bear market all the way down as they did the last time around. Make sure you support the channel with the link directly below. That allows me to be able to provide you this information, and make sure you watch the video all the way through. Just a quick video here on Sunday. Bitcoin's got a few more hours to the close, but I just wanted to do a quick video. I'll do another video on Monday, more detail. But again, we continue to see the drop. Signals remain bearish. We're below the Bitcoin's average price. Bullish divergence is forming on the 4-hour chart. We're down right now on Sunday about 2%. We're down over 25.5%, and we're on Sunday dropping to a new low. Talked about two scenarios. Either we're completing primary wave 1 and we'll get a primary wave 2, or we're already finished with primary wave 1 here and 2, and we're now in the crash wave 3. you get some kind of bounce, but it'll be followed by a bigger, much bigger drop. And again, I think are the two most likely possibilities right now. It's possible leading diagonal still in play, but again, we're taking out this lower boundary that I've drawn. And again, I talked about at the top, either coming back down and testing and bouncing off of this horizontal support, we're taking it out. If we do end up getting a bigger recovery, it will be to trick and deceive herd into believing the correction is done. Again, Bitcoin is likely top. The people that told us we had a breakout over here at the top, again, Bitcoin slammed into major resistance, and I told you it was topping. And again, these are the people that keep telling us, well, there's a bottom here. No, the bottom's here. No, the bottom's here. No, the bottom's here. Bitcoin continued to fall. We got now the death cross taking place. Now, last time we had the death cross in the bear market, you had a significant drop surrounding the death cross before you got a rally. Here we've had, as we've gotten the death cross, we've had a significant drop. So again, it could be that we get the bullish divergences playing out and getting some kind of rebound. But again, this is what's going on right now is we're getting the death cross, and the moon boys are saying it's a bottom. Remember those guys, the people that told us we had a breakout at the top, the people that told us the 25.5% sell-off was never going to happen? You remember them, don't you? The folks that have been calling a bottom at all the way down at every low, and then you go lower, and then you go lower, and then you go lower. Remember them? They're getting angrier and angrier, and seeing charts on MicroStrategy and on Charting Prodigy on X, charts on Bitcoin, and they are just, heads are exploding. They're so angry. Mocking and the hatred and the laugh out louds and the attacks are just becoming more and more intensified as they're getting angrier and angrier as Bitcoin continues to drop. And when they drop, when it bounces, if we get this scenario happening where you get a bigger bounce or you get the smaller bounce, they're going to go, aha, see, we told you. Told us we had a breakout at the top and this sell-off was never going to happen. Again, we'll see. Do we get some kind of bottoming tail here today or in the next few days here? But I think you're going to get some kind of recovery. The question is, will it be the bigger bounce for a wave 2, or will it just be a counter trend and we're already in the crash wave 3? This is the wave 2 scenario that we're going to finish wave 1, primary wave 1 here, and then we'll get a wave 2, a bigger rebound back up. But like I keep saying, again, 116,000 is likely gone. The bigger rebound, you might rally towards it, but again, good shot that, again, 126 was the top, and this very well could have been the final exit point. Now, the question is, are we going to try to bounce surrounding the Bitcoin's average price here in the 50-week moving average? If you can try to get back above those levels, you can get some kind of rebound towards the 50 and 200 as they get a death cross, or this larger Fibonacci retracement scenario that I've talked about. But as I'm making the video, let me pull this down a little bit more because Bitcoin's dropped a little bit here. Again, down about 2%. Bitcoin's down, almost 26%. Is when I call the day of the top. So again, we'll be watching. Do we get some kind of bigger rebound? And again, no. Look, I look at support and resistance. At the April low, I called a bottom because we hit major support. At the October top, I called a top. So I saw evidence that Bitcoin was topping and ending the 4-year cycle and slamming into major resistance. We hit it 3 times. At 1, 2, 3 strikes are out. Well, I do expect some kind of bounce. I don't know the future. L8 wave is not some Nostradamus hocus pocus indicator. Again, I'm just a trader. I look at support and resistance. I was able to correctly predict the top, call the top, and predict this crash. It's not over. You're going to get a bigger one. The question is, do we get a bounce and then resume it immediately, or do we buy a little bit more time and get this scenario right here? This is that we're wrapping up here, primary wave 1, and we'll get a primary wave 2. That scenario gives us a bigger bounce for Bitcoin. As you know, I've been calling for a 40 to 50% crash for Bitcoin. The 41% crash is down here to the 74,000 April low. 50% crash takes Bitcoin down to 63. If we do what we did the last bear market, Bitcoin drops 52%, and you're dropping down to 60,000. Here I've taken it down to 63,000, which would be a 50% crash. Now, if we already have wave 1, primary wave 1 and 2 done, and this isn't a massive primary wave 1, then we're already in crash wave 3. Again, L8 wave is process of elimination. So again, if we get a bigger rebound back up, then likely this is the wave 1. If we get a rebound back up, but maybe stall at this trend line right here or the moving averages or something. The risk is we're already in the primary wave 3 and that we're getting a wave 1, maybe. Count this another way too, that one's done here, we got 2, and we're already in the third of the third. Again, Elliott wave speculation. If you know the future, you're one up on me. I'm using it to look at impulsive and corrective moves to try to determine price direction by the process of elimination. Trade Elliott wave, I trade my indicators. And as I keep saying, and I'll say it again, any rally back up is a gift to the bears and an opportunity for the longs to close long positions. I think they're going to do it. Again, I'm seeing them get even more angrier and angrier as Bitcoin continues to drop. I think that when we rally back up, they're going to go, see, we told you. And then maybe you get a intermediate wave 2 here before the bigger drop, or you get the primary wave 2 if this whole thing is a primary 1. But Bitcoin, again, I think by January is going to be down here somewhere, down here at 74,000, 40% lower, or 50% lower, down towards 63,000. But this primary wave 3 very well could be in play. Either we're getting the first wave down of it, or, like I said, on my other 4-hour chart, I've got it marked as 1, 2, and this is 3. And maybe you're going to get the 1, 2, and then get the big drop. And again, how low we go, speculation at this point. But usually when, as I talked about in my last video, when Bitcoin kicks off the bear market, you get a 40, 50% drop. First bear market, you got even a bigger drop than that. But I think 40, 50% is reasonable, and it's what Bitcoin has done in the past. No, you don't understand. You don't have the 4-year cycle anymore. This time is different. Don't have bear markets. I mean, I've seen it all. I mean, people are just drinking the Moonboy Kool-Aid. Risk is that with the death cross right here, that we get a bigger drop right here, right now. We are forming bullish divergence in the 4-hour time frame. Let me show you. Back over here when we got the death cross back in early 2022, in January of 2022, we got the death cross right here. And Bitcoin actually got a bigger dump before it got the bigger rebound. So there's risk of that still happening. I told you that in the bull phase, in the bull market, the death crosses have led to rebounds, bottoms. Which will this be? Do we end up getting a bigger drop before recovery? We are forming bullish diversions in the 4-hour time frame. And again, I'm looking at the bigger move. Again, the short-term price fluctuations are a little bit tougher to call. But again, here's the 52% drop right here before we got the rebound back up to the 200. Still may see something like that. But again, at some point, I get a bigger rebound. Bullish divergences right now play out on the 4-hour time frame. We could see something happen right now. Then again, eventually, going to get a much bigger drop. Bitcoin has topped, likely entered the bear market, in my opinion. I wanted to show you this, and again, I'll make a video tomorrow, and we'll look at some of the indicators. But again, with the death cross here, we ended up getting a bigger drop before a recovery. That's what's happening right now. Oh, you should know the future. Look, I called the top. I predicted the crash. I told you we're going down to the 100,000 area to test 98,000, and maybe we take it out. To be watching for test of the 50-week. We're testing it. If we close below it, do we get back above it? The bullish divergences play out. We might get some kind of bounce, either for intermediate wave 2, if this is intermediate wave 1 completing here, or if we've completed primary wave 1. Get primary wave 2 for a bigger rally. But again, you could end up attempting to rally towards the 50 and 200 if the divergences play out with the crossover. If we get a bigger drop, as I just showed you, as it did back in 2022, it may play out that way. Oh, you're supposed to know the future. Come on. Some people just have such unrealistic expectations. Look, my signals remain bearish. We're forming a bullish divergence. We're probably going to get some kind of bounce. Could be a rally back towards, eventually, back towards the moving averages or Fibonacci retracement. This gives, if the signals remain bearish, that we get a bigger drop first. But a bullish divergence is forming on the 4-hour charts. It's as simple as that. But some people just have such unrealistic expectations. I mean, I've made some pretty bold calls here. I've been right so far. These are the two counts that I think are most likely, and so I'm watching to see if we get a rebound and the bullish divergences play out. Do my signals start turning back to do I get bottoming signals, or can my signals revert back to bullish? Can we get a bigger recovery? Do we get a smaller bounce? So is this, a 5-leg push lower here that's going to give us some kind of recovery? after getting 1 and 2 as I've marked on the other chart, or is this a leading diagonal that gives us a bigger recovery to give the herd one last false sense of hope before the bigger drop? We'll see how it plays out, but again, the signals are still bearish. As I keep saying, eventually we're going to get this 40 to 50% drop going back to the April low. Maybe we're in the process of doing that right now. We get a little bounce and we keep going if we're in the crash wave 3. As I said, the Wyckoff model suggests that. Don't want to rule anything out. And again, forming a massive head and shoulders pattern. Bitcoin continues or gets a bounce and then continues to drop. That schematic way, pattern 1, the Wyckoff sell-off is likely in play. Which again, it's following the Wyckoff model pretty closely here. Not perfect, but it is pretty close. And again, do we end up seeing this play out and taking us all the way back to the April low and maybe beyond? Even if we bounce, even if we get a bounce, again, does 250 act as resistance, and we just see this crash wave 3 now begin to play out. But so far, we've been following this Wyckoff model pretty close.